Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on Jeannie's Crochet Modern Granny Shrug. If you know how to do a granny square, you can do one of these. This is simply a large granny square and folded strategically to make it into a shrug like so. Today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this square. It's very easy. I'm going to show you how to fold it, and then so you can identify where you need to sew things together, and then I'm going to just explain to you on how to do the edging around this. And so Jeannie's actually worn this to work as well. So let's begin looking at this a little bit deeper. So before we get into the square, I want to show you the progressive stages of doing one of these. So what we're going to do is that we're going to make a very large square. So you'll see that the color transitions are happening like this. This is using Caron Cakes, and this is as it's coming out of the ball. So you'll see that it's actually quite fabulous, and because of that you get this really kind of cool effect. If you know Caron Cakes, you know why this is happening. You're then going to take that square and you're going to fold it in half so that the fold is at the top side right here, and you are going to then sew just a section, not all the way to the top, but just a section to let your arms be able to come through, and then you're going to sew down on each side. So then you'll be able to get your hand through there. So if you want to test your thickness of your hand or your arm, for example, this is how much you're going to want to sew. Once you get that done, is that you're gonna be able to have it like this. So it's then been sewed, leaving that space at the top like I mentioned, and you'll see it like this. So you're gonna fold it so it looks like this, and this is how the girl is wearing it in the picture. And what you're going to do then is 5 layers of double crochet all the way around this. This is a continuous circle like so, and so when you get all the way around, you just slip stitch to the top of the beginning, chain 3, and then chain 3, and then double crochet all over again, and do that 5 times, and voila, you will have that. So let's take a quick look at what the back looks like. The back looks like a large granny square just like so, and because of the way that it's folded, it naturally wants to go up over the top of the shoulders in order to create the most amazing look ever. So this is how to do the Granny Shrug by Jeannie, and so let's begin to show you how to do the actual square itself, and then I'll show you just a reminder on how to do the folding and etc. So with your 5mm size H crochet hook, we're gonna create a granny square together. This is not a typical granny square. This is like that one that's called From the Middle. It's a baby blanket on Yarnspirations.com. It's also existing on a pillow on Yarnspirations.com, and that's where Jeannie got the inspiration for this. So what we're gonna have is one layer is going to be just chain work almost, and then the other layer is just double crochets, and then the chains then in the next layer just come in between. So it's a very easy one to do. Many people are doing granny squares like this in today's age, and you can have some really amazing looks with Caron Cakes by using this particular stitch as well. So without further ado, let's grab our cake and let's get going. So let's begin. We're going to start off in the center of the square, and so we're going to create the interior ring. So and create a slip knot and put it onto your hook. Remember that never counts as one. So to begin the inside square, you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I want you to insert this hook into the beginning chain and then yarn over, pulling it through to form the center ring of the granny square. So let's go around this once. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, that counts as a double crochet, and inside this ring I want you to place 2 more double crochets. So wrap that hook going into the center, pull through, and then just double crochet as normal. Do it again one more time. So with the chaining of 3 being counting as a double crochet plus the 2, you have a total of 3. That's your magic number for this entire Afghan, is the number 3 when it comes to sets of these being together. On the corners, whenever you have double crochet, they're only on this one is chain 5. So only meaning only on this project when you have double crochet and you're turning corners, they'll always only be chain 1. So start another side, and you're going to go and double crochet into the ring again 3 more times. So you're gonna create 4 sides of this within today's revolution right here. So once you get that set of 3 done, chain 1. Going back into the ring then again 3 more times. We're doing another side. Like so. Okay. Chain 1 and do the final side. This is your 4th and final side. 1. Just like that. So you're not quite finished. You have to chain 1 first and then just join it to the top of the beginning chain 3 that you had started with. So that's your first revolution of getting things started, and what I want you to do is either weave in that tail or get rid of it. Either way, you should get it out either way so it's easier for you to see. So let's begin round number 2. So round number 2 is going to be every other round on the way that you start. So to start round number 2, you're going to slip stitch over to this chain 1 space. So you're just gonna go into the next stitch, pull through and through, that's a slip stitch, do the next one, pull through and through. So all the work now is gonna happen in this one corner. So to begin there, you're just gonna go right into the space itself, the chain 1 space, and single crochet and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and back into that same space for a single crochet. Okay, so then magic number is 3. Remember what I told you, that number is 3. So in order to do this round, which is gonna happen every other round, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and jump to the next available space. In this case it's the next corner. So you're just gonna single crochet into the next space, and if it's a corner you'll still single crochet, and if you're turning a corner you'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and going in. Okay, so that's how you do your corners. Then you chain 3 and jump to the next space, which happens to be a corner. So single crochet first, chain 3, and single crochet back into the same spot. Okay, that's how you're doing your corners. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You happen to go to the next space, which is a corner. Okay, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. Now you're coming back around to where you had started. You started right on a corner itself, so to get back there you still have to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and join it to the beginning single crochet that you had started with. So that completes off round number 2. So the only difference in this round compared to round number 4 and 6 and 8, every other round, is that you'll just have more spaces that are in between the corners. Let's move on to round number 3. To start off round number 3, which will happen every other round, you are going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space. So just slip first and then start your first corner. So the corners will always be the same. It'll be chain 3 to start, and then 2 more double crochets so that you have your 3 in the corner. So that is your magic number 3. This is a corner, so you're gonna chain 1. Okay, for this double crochet it's only chain 1. For the single crochet it's chain 3. And you're gonna come back into the same spot and put 3 more double crochets in there to allow you to turn that corner. So you have a nice 90-degree turn. Now unlike other granny squares where you put spaces in between the groups of 3, this one you don't. You immediately just jump to the next chain 3 space here, and you just put 3 double crochets in there. I'll explain that in the next round why we're doing that and not putting spaces in between the groups of 3. So the next one happens to be your corner, so remember it's gonna be 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, chain 1 because it's a double crochet, and coming back in 3 more, so you can do that 90-degree turn. So now you're just gonna jump to the next space automatically. Okay, it's right there, and you'll put in 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Notice that I'm not putting any chains in anything. So here's the next one, corner. So remember what it is. It's 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet. A lot of people are moving to these types of granny squares. They're actually quite easy to do, and they have a really kind of a cool look too. So coming into the next space, 3 double crochet, just like that, and then coming into the next corner, 3 double crochet. So the only difference is that your square continues to get bigger. So chain 1 and coming in to the same one. Okay, so you're coming back to where you had started. You can see that here, and so you'll just immediately jump to this next space. 1, 2, and 3. And then to finish off this, you just slip stitch it to the top of the chain 3 that you'd started with. So this will happen every other round. So I'm gonna take you through one more round of what we did previous right here, and then one more round of that, just so that you're clear. So to move forward then to do the next round, you slip stitch 2. You'd already done that before if you remember, and then once you're ready then for the corner, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. So it's a single crochet round, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So here's what you need to look for. Do you see these groups of 3? there's no chain ones that separate them. They're kind of separated down here. So you have to physically separate those yourself, and just simply going in between the two groups of 3 and single crochet. So chain 3 and go in between the next group. Do you see that? It's just nice and easy. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Next one is your corner, so single crochet in first, chain 3 and single crochet in. Do you get that? So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. See, you go in between. See the two groups of 3, go in right in between, chain 3 and going in there just like that, and then go into the corner. Okay, so do the whole round. You know how to do it now, so do that whole round, and I'll see you back at the other round, and we'll just confirm that you know what you're doing. When you get back to the beginning, it's starting on the corner, so chain 3 and then just go right into the first single crochet with the slip stitch. So that concludes that corner. So let's just move on and just do one more round. So to start the next round, as always, will be slip stitch over into the chain 3 space, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and double crochet 2 more times to conclude that side of the corner, and then chain 1, and then into the same space you'll do another 3. So you can turn that corner. So continuing to move across, then all the differences before, see there's more spaces before the next corner, so the next space just immediately just double crochet. Don't do any chains or anything to separate them, and just keep double crocheting in sets of 3 in these spaces going all the way across until you get to another corner. So what you're gonna do is that you're going to repeat this, and Jeannie's pattern calls for the square to be 41 inches in across it, so 41 inches, one going over, and then you can stop. Now if you're doing this for a child, what you can do is that you can just stop at some point and just kind of just hold it onto the child to see if you think it's big enough or not, and just go from there as well. So if you're changing sizes, her size is pretty generous, so it's almost like a one size fits all. So if you want to make it more accurate, you can just stop at any time and just kind of pin it to see if it's gonna work for you, and if not, just continue along in order to get it to the size that you most prefer for yourself. So you can see I'm just naturally going around this thing without really telling you what to do, and it's actually pretty exciting. So what I'm gonna do in the next part of today's tutorial is that I'm going to show you how, just to review how to fold this, and then how to sew it, and then what you need to do for the finishing touches. So once your main square is done, what you need to do is that you'll have it, and it's obviously gonna be much bigger than this, but this is just an example. So what you wanna do is that you want to fold it so that the wrong side, okay, the opposite side than what you've been working with, is facing outward like this, and you wanna fold it directly in half like you have here. So just think about this. Let me just get rid of this tail before that drives me crazy. And what I have here is that you need to then come up along the side, and you need to leave room so that you can get your arms through here. Okay, so you'll notice that on the model is that her arms don't go at the top, but it's more like the forearm area here, and there's space enough for her to get that in. So what you want to do is that you want to sew up along the side here, but leaving space for her arms. And what I'd recommend is that just do one, you can test it on yourself, and then just do the other side so that you have it both of the armholes on both sides. Once you have that sewn, you're going to have a configuration that will look like this. And so you'll see that it's sewn up here, and you can see that there's armholes right here. Okay, so once you have that sewn, all you can just do is take this project and just fold it out like this. Okay, and it will be sewn right where you did it before, and there will be room for where the arms are coming out on the edge. So you're gonna have it sewn right to this edge here, and this will be a complete circle. So what you're gonna do is that you're going to attach your yarn here. Okay, so you'll flip this back on the outside right. Okay, so you'll flip this back around, and what you're gonna do is that you're going to double crochet 3 rounds around this. So you're just gonna go into each one of the stitches, and as you get around, just join it to the top of the beginning chain 3, chain up 3, and then double crochet around, and do that a total of 5 times. You're also then just gonna come back to the sleeve and where you have it sewn, and you're going to do the exact same thing around the little sleeve that you have here in order to create that. So you did 5 here, you'll do 5 there, and you'll have a really kind of a unique look. So if you look back on Jeannie's model here, you can see that she did a really good job on this thing. where it's just folded, and just basically the fold will naturally rust over the shoulders. The arms will come through, so you can see that she's got her cuff here, and you can see that this was the layers that she did going all the way around once it was attached like this. And so it's really quite an easy pattern to be able to follow. It's a very simplistic idea, and so you can see that you just go all the way around, and then eventually you'll get that at the end. So this is how to do a granny shrug. This is a genie pattern inspired by Yarnspirations, and hopefully that you enjoy, and hopefully you understand today's tutorial. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.